Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is August 1st, and right now we are looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see there is some smoke around across Oregon, portions of Washington. Some of this will be drifting north as we go through the next couple of days. We're also going to be warming up. We got some monsoon moisture on the way. We have lightning strike potential, new fire starts, all kinds of stuff to talk about here. And if you look closely on the GOES 18, you can see these clouds casting their shadow on the lower stratus layer there out over the Pacific Ocean. Always something fun to look at there on the GOES 18 satellite. Taking a look at the station I selected, Cannon Beach there. So if we click on that one, it brings us to let me back this page up. Brings us to this page here, and you can see that it builds a forecast for the station. If you click on this icon up there, it'll then show you the parameters and individual data for that station. You can see the wind updates every 3 seconds here, so you can go anywhere you want and watch your weather station either on your smartphone app or on a desktop here. And yeah, very fun to watch this when you've got a weather station at your place of residence. You can click on these individual parameters, and it graphs it and stores it in the cloud for you. Click on that link down below if you want to save 10% off on one. So taking a look at the thunderstorm outlook, it's now starting to include some of Southern California and Las Vegas. For example, if we go into tomorrow, you can see they have introduced this up across the Cascades. Remember, I talked about that yesterday. We're probably going to do so. And then as we go to day 3, they've been included portions of Eastern Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, and again, Cascades eastbound for the most part, but could clip places like Medford, and it's fairly close to Eugene and Portland here for the most part, but should stay across the higher terrain. Now, this is the day 1 fire weather outlook. Not much going on, as you see, but if we go to day 2, they introduced the isolated dry thunderstorm potential here across Northern California all the way up on in through Washington State, and this would include some of British Columbia as well. And now this would be for day 3, Sierra Nevada, Washington Cascades eastbound. There's day 4, some of the Idaho Panhandle, western Montana, a lot of Oregon again, and yet day 5, and then even day 6 again here. So yeah, we're going to be watching for this over the next few days, and this is according to the SPC. Also got some warm temperatures rolling in here. Look at these temperatures for today and tomorrow. Ritzville topping out at 107, but staying pretty warm as we go through the upcoming week. Same thing with Lewiston, Moses Lake 106. You can see Wenatchee 104 and still staying in the upper 90s. Spokane 104 as well. Now, this is for Missoula, Montana, and again, this is what we just talked about, some of that thunderstorm potential. You can see the National Weather Service offices are getting up to speed on it here, and you can see best chances Sunday afternoon through evening, and again, we could have some new fire starts with this activity. Now, what is going on here? You got the European on the left. This was last night, or yesterday afternoon, John, let's call it, and this is the European from yesterday morning here on the right. So we put this into motion. You'll see not much has changed with that monsoon moisture riding up across the southwest, back up into Oregon here, and then eventually into Washington. You can see actually yesterday afternoon's run a little bit more monsoon moisture into the Cascades. You notice it doesn't really get out much over western Washington or British Columbia for the most part, but that could be bringing some lightning activity with it here as we go on in through the day Sunday. Then we get this little system off here, and still some model disagreement on just exactly how this is going to unfold. This can trigger some showers as well and some thunderstorm activity with it as we continue on into the early portion of next week, but we'll continue to watch that over the next couple of days. Now looking at 24-hour precipitation total. And again, some of these are going to be of the dry nature. I mean, some of the models are showing a little bit of instability. There could be some cumulus popping off across some of the Cascades of Oregon, Washington this afternoon. But as we go into Saturday, you can see more of that moisture start to move up. And again, impacting Oregon right up until the model run ends at 60 hours. But you can see this actually a bit of precipitation showing up in some of these storms. But it still doesn't mean they can't create lightning when they do, some fires when they do bring their lightning across the area. Now, taking a look at the European 24-hour running total as well. And again, you'll see that moisture kind of ride up here as we go through the day Saturday. And it shows a little bit of that getting up over the Willamette Valley here as well. So we'll watch for that. And then across some of the Washington Cascades, we go through Saturday afternoon. And again, these are going to be, a lot of these aren't going to be producing big time precipitation amounts, but they could be producing some. And again, it's that time of year where any thunderstorm has the potential to start some new fires. Now, looking at the North American model, this is a bit of a closer look here. And this is the 12-kilometer version. We're looking at this morning's run. This is hot off the presses. There comes that monsoon moisture, very similar to what the European was showing there as this moves across the area. Then this little system out here, what is that going to do? Is that going to create some defluence aloft and continue some of the thunderstorms across the Cascades here? Maybe even bring a little bit of precipitation west of the mountains. That's still yet to be seen, but something we're watching. And one more look at things here. As you can see, this is some of the cyclonic relative vorticity here with that monsoon moisture. You see it right up on the western periphery of this ridge, up across the Cascades, Oregon, Oregon, Washington, and that will be kicking off the initial round of thunderstorms. Then you can see that system kind of spinning out here. And we'll be watching that one. Taking a look at the North American model, this is the high resolution, just going to give you the same map here, but you can kind of see how the features are more detailed here on the high resolution model. So thought I'd show you that. So anyway, this is what's going on right now. You can see the ridge building here over the Intermountain West and kind of keeping us nice and warm and dry for the most part. But again, that monsoon moisture is going to be creeping up as we go through, Friday, Saturday, and then eventually on into the weekend, maybe into early next week. You can see that little troughing off the coastline there. Big ridge building up across Northwest Territories, the Yukon, portions of Alaska. And so when that little feature swings through, we could be doing some ridge building again after that and kind of keep things warm here across the Pacific Northwest. That is another feature we'll be watching as well. As you can see, a pretty extensive ridge all the way up across portions of northern Canada. Now, looking at the National Blend of Models, this is for today, 85 degrees for Seattle, quite warm over the Seafair weekend for Seattle. Then a little bit of a cool down here as you see that system looming right off the coastline. Very subtle feature there. I'll be watching that. But if we take a look at a wider view of things here, this is Seattle and Portland. Check it out for today. You're talking about some upper 90s, maybe even 100-degree reading for the Willamette Valley. Very warm east of the Cascades as well. We go on into tomorrow. A little bit of a cool down there for the Willamette Valley, but still, you're talking about 90s. And then you really ramp the temperatures up tomorrow across eastern Washington, Oregon. Looks in the valleys up into British Columbia here as well. Idaho Panhandle. It's summertime, and this above average heat can really kind of bring some of these extreme conditions. And we go through Saturday, bit of a cool down, but still remaining quite warm for Seattle and Portland, and still looking at some hundreds here as we go through Sunday, Monday, then maybe dropping those temperatures down a little bit as we go on into next week. And again, we'll be paying attention to that as we go day by day. 6 to 10 day forecast here. Above average signal for much of the West Coast exists, and there's the 6 to 10 day. I would take this with a grain of salt. We're going to be working out these individual features here as we go through the next few days. But now looking at smoke, this is the high resolution model. This is the most recent, the 14Z run, and you can see the direction this smoke is moving. And a lot of this is going to be aloft for many areas here, but you're still going to notice it in the sky. And in some areas, of course, this is going to be some surface smoke here, and you're going to be smelling it because there still are quite a few active fires across Oregon. There's some across Washington as well. So there is a way we can look at this cross-section wise, kind of a timeline here on the bottom. This is Tri-Cities Airport, and this is the surface up here. You're looking at 39,000 feet. But we can see where a lot of that smoke is. And by the time you get on in towards Friday and Saturday, there is a lot of surface smoke that's starting to show up for places across eastern Washington as well. So initially, the smoke is going to be aloft, and it's not really surface-based too much until once you get into like late Friday morning, you start to bring some of that surface smoke. However, for Bend, it's, if it's not already surface-based now, it will be shortly and probably remaining so as we go on in through the weekend coming up here. And you can see the top of that smoke layer up around 18,000 feet or so. If we look at Portland and close that, and you can kind of see it does remain aloft for the most part over the next few days. This goes out to about Saturday morning here, and you can see that again, that smoke aloft right there in that layer. Here's Seattle, not as much smoke aloft, but there is some smoke moving in here, especially as we go on in through tonight into early tomorrow morning. Now, this is looking at the 7-day significant wildland fire potential. Let's see if they've updated that. They have not, but similar to what they were showing yesterday, the potential for Saturday and Sunday across NW4, 7, 6, 11, 12, 8, 5. That's the east slopes of the Cascades of Washington. Actually, they don't have the lightning strike symbol for that one, but they do have it for 6 and 7 right now. But yeah, this could easily be introduced across some of the Cascades here as well as we go through this weekend. They might actually do that today. In fact, we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so the monsoon moisture is coming on its way here, and you'll see those buildups over the mountains probably as we go through the weekend coming up. And, when some new fire starts out there, I'm not looking forward to that, but let's hope we can keep those to a minimum. And let's do our best to not have any more human-caused fires as well, because, Mother Nature is a pretty efficient fire producer on her own. She doesn't need any help from us humans starting fires out there. So anyway, hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Click like and subscribe. We will do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.